All right, everyone. Welcome back to the 2012 WCG USA Finals. He made it difficult. He made us wait, but he finally made it happen. It started with the qualifiers for this tournament, falling to TriMaster after being up 2-0. Then we got to the winners bracket finals where he beat TriMaster 2-0. And then TriMaster decided he wanted to stay around. He wanted to stick around. He didn't want to go home. Grand final happened. QXC went up 1-0. TriMaster then came back and won 2 in a row. Then the second best of 3 happened because, of course, QXC coming from the winner bracket final gets that advantage. QXC decides to win 1 game away from winning, but then TriMaster comes back and win. And finally, QXC decides to stop messing around and take home total victory. How do you feel, man?
Pretty good right now.
Yeah.
I was a little worried. In the WCG qualifier, as you just mentioned,
Yeah.
I was up against TriMaster 2-0.
You had to have like flashbacks to that in your mind.
Yeah, a little bit. After I lost the first series, I was kind of thinking like, this can't be like the first one. I gotta fix what went wrong there. And he responded pretty well to almost all my builds the second time he saw them.
Right.
And then I think I responded pretty well to his response the third time I used them. I don't have too many TVT builds.
Yeah.
I obviously didn't use all of them today, but
Sure.
I'm kind of using the ones that I feel most comfortable with.
Yeah.
And since I play with TriMaster all the time, we live together.
Right.
He kind of knows.
Your strategies.
Yeah, like
and
that
your
3cc build.
Uh-huh.
He was the one who helped me refine it. I was like, "Hey,
That's
Josh,
awkward.
Josh, tell me how to beat this." And he was like, "I don't know." And then he like did that tank thing
Yeah.
in practice like 2 months ago, and I
And then he
forgot
did
about
again.
it.
Was that
yeah.
on Daybreak or Ohana? I know he did the tank
It was
thing on Ohana.
Daybreak.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah.
He hit like right when you were trying to build all your Marines and stuff.
Yeah,
You didn't have siege mode. I was scared that was going to happen last game. Because he was pressing you like you didn't have siege mode yet.
I was ready for it that time.
Yeah.
And I also tried to make him think I was going mech in,
I saw the
in that
Hellions.
third game. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I make. Usually, if you're going bio, you just make 4 Hellions and you stop, and then maybe you do some drops or pressure a little bit. But I made 5 or 6.
I don't think he deviated too much based off of what he saw there. I mean, he still went for that standard tank push with the Marines.
Well,
I'm not sure. But you held it off this time.
Yeah, I had all the barracks I needed, the upgrades and stuff, and when your opponent commits to a big push like that,
Right.
they're really setting themselves behind in terms of their gas. When you make all those tanks and Vikings so early, you're not getting stim, you're not getting shields, you're not getting +1, and so
If you don't make something happen there, you can find yourself really far behind.
yeah, and that's basically what happened in the 2 games where he attempted that. One game I was meching. I guessed he would do the same kind of thing. I scanned, I confirmed it. So I made early tanks, and then you saw he was kind of on his back foot for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And in the last game, try to make him think I'm going mech, whatever. He does his tank push. I see it coming, and I've got tons of Marines.
He had the initial Marine Hellion push that you held off really easily.
Yeah.
And he brought the medevac with it, trying to do drops.
That
But I think
build,
you scanned that.
I scanned a tech lab on the starport with something researching.
Oh, you did? And in that Daybreak game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Daybreak.
No, I don't think it was.
Okay, I don't-
You're talking about maybe Ohana.
You know, we just
You're
played,
talking about Ohana.
we played 8 games against
Y'all
each other,
did.
so I like don't.
I remember every
They're
single
all
game.
kind of blending together.
No, the last game you scouted the reactors on the factory and the.
Oh yeah. So I knew. The nice thing about that is you know exactly what they're doing. There's actually no.
Yep.
Like.
This is a medevac build.
Yeah. There's no other
nothing.
way to
Starport
use.
with no add-on. We got a barracks with a reactor and a factory and a reactor. That's only
Yeah.
going to be one thing.
Yeah.
Um,
And so that was nice because that was kind of how I lost in the qualifiers. Was he started doing some kind of obscure builds that I wasn't familiar with, like that 2 medevac drop.
yeah.
And so I was a little like I wanted to make sure I was on top of my scans to make sure he didn't pull something.
I
out that
noticed you
hadn't
scanned a
seen
lot more
before.
in that last game, just to make absolute sure.
Yeah, I
what's
mean,
going on.
I was pretty sure I knew what he was going to do, and then I just had to keep confirming it. I didn't want to go out in a bad way because I won every single macro game,
Right.
and so I felt very.
It seemed like every game you went mech, you won too. Like I remember in the middle of there, well, except the end. But
yeah,
there were those 2 games in a row you went bio. It was Ohana and some other game. So I don't know. They're all blending together, man. They're all blending together.
that's what I told you, right?
Yeah.
But
good job, man.
I think my mech right now is pretty good.
I think it's pretty good too.
But we didn't see my mech against mech, and I'm not sure how strong that is.
That's a good point.
And I don't think any of the Terrans here really do mech very much. And I think generally the people who are best against mech are the people who are best at doing mech.
Right.
Because you kind of learn the other perspective. You learn what makes it strong and what makes it weak. But
Now,
I felt really comfortable doing mech. Yeah.
Yeah, you seem the most comfortable when that was the case. Now, the Ohana game, this moment I remember. I think he was hiding like 6 Vikings or something.
Oh yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about what happened there?
That's a strategy it's another like really risky strategy.
Yeah.
Because if I make 2 Thors,
that's fine.
Yeah, he just loses because his army sucks. And
but you had no answer to those Banshees.
Yeah, not really.
You were ahead in that game too, I think.
Yeah, I mean my 4th was earlier. Obviously my ground army's stronger, but he took a risk that paid off, knowing he's seen me mech so many times in the previous game. So I think it made a lot of sense, and that's just something for the future I need to work on. I always need to add 1 or 2 Thors to shut that kind of play down. And then what I probably could have done the moment I saw it, I need like a response can, so you just go for it. I kind of panicked a little bit. I need to throw down turrets, basically hold my 3 bases, and just
pull back your army. Don't lose a lot of tanks.
Yeah, and start Thors right away. And there was just too much going on at once. I was still trying to like kind of hold my 4th, and then there was that little bit of lag. It was one of those situations where I don't really think the lag made a big difference. I think the game was already lost.
Yeah.
But it's still,
at the very end.
Still really,
it was pretty much
frustrating.
over.
Like,
yeah, no, I understand.
I had some units. I thought like I could kind of mitigate the damage at my 3rd until my 2 Thors got out, and then it lagged and I just lost everything.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if your Thors get out and you can clear up all the Vikings,
all you have to do is kill the 2 Banshees.
Yeah, the 2 Banshees too. Yeah. Then it becomes doable.
Yeah. But it wasn't a good spot for me in any way. So.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, well, congratulations. Finally getting it done, finally sealing the deal. I feel like you were a little bit frustrated at the end there, maybe, or a little bit nervous about what's going on here. You came for the Winners Bracket Finals. Shouldn't be this hard. But kudos to Trimaster, really fighting hard at the end there.
Yeah,
keeping it close.
He never gives up.
Yeah.
In practice, he's like that, too.
Yeah.
Fighting.
Yeah.
I got really good at killing people because Trimaster's like a weed or a hydra or something. If you don't like
kill
actually
come back.
end him,
that's a really good point.
He
oh my
comes
gosh.
back.
Now that I think about that,
he comes back and he fights and he regrows, and you're like, I thought I won this game 20 minutes ago, and then he has like BCs, and you're like, what? And then you lose, and you're like, all right, next time I'll cut your head off.
I felt there were a lot of moments throughout that series where you got a really good lead, but it's just like you couldn't find opportunities to necessarily end it, and then he would come back. But yeah, I completely get what you're saying now that you mention it. But yeah, good job. Congratulations. You can take your trophy if you want.
Sick. Is there a reason I wouldn't want to take it?
Know.
Do we do one of those?
Right now.
Oh, wow, it's really heavy.
Is it? Yeah, it's kind of deceptive.
I thought it's like actually glass.
Yeah,
I thought it was like
valuable.
something else.
Any final shout-outs to the people?
So shout out to Complexity Gaming, sending me, Trimaster, and Sasquatch out here. Big shout out to Gamma Labs, who's making the house in Texas possible. Without that, we wouldn't have nearly the results we have. It's really made a big difference in our practice.
I think it has. Complexity's killing it lately.
Yeah, if you watch some of our games, watch the way we've improved. Everyone at the house has made tremendous strides, and that's really great. Big shout out to Creative, Sound Blaster, PNY, Crash the System, and thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Congratulations once again. Of course, QXC will be your representative from the United States at the World Finals in China at the end of November. So good luck there. Hopefully you can represent not only Americans but Terrans, because Terrans recently hasn't been too hot.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes.
I don't know if you... So there's this one tournament called the GSL.
Yeah.
And
MVP?
MVP is going to win.
Is he the one exception?
He's going to win.
Who's he playing again?
Life.
Okay. I think Life's going to beat him easy. Life destroyed Tasia.
Whatever.
And destroyed MKP.
MVP's way better.
All right, guys, we got to go. But thanks for watching. We'll be back with a sign-off once again. Congratulations to QXC. We'll be back in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.